Hello, everyone, and welcome to Battle of the Beasts, Insects and Arachnids Only, episode number 5. We're now at the 5th battle of round 1, and yeah, we got 4 beasts already made it through to round 2, and all 4 of them have definitely earned their spot in very good, but also very violent battles. The last one's probably the most violent. So with that, let's introduce the beast fighting out for the next spot in round 2. Representing Series 15, we have Quagos the Armoured Beetle. And representing Series 25, we have Diprox, the Buzzing Terror. So, yeah, interesting matchup if you ask me. Both of these beasts are good in their own way, however, underwhelming in their own way as well. But, yeah, that's just my personal opinion. But, this might be a good battle, because you got a shield versus the equivalent to a very sharp sword. So, yeah, a battle of sword versus shield. Let's see what happens. But first, I need to get to the stats. So, let's get to them. Quagos the Armoured Beetle, one of the 4 ancient beasts of Tangala. Quagos is a giant armoured beetle with the strength to burrow through the hardest earth and smash down walls. Her gleaming shell can withstand most blades, and her iridescent spikes, that it can puncture flesh with ease. While the silver scepter of Tangala is safe, Quagos cannot harm the kingdom. Age 302, power 294, magic level 179, fright factor 91, size 289. Powers and abilities: natural weaponry, natural armor, likely flight, Quagos can likely fly, enhanced strength, enhanced speed, despite his I don't even know what gender Quagos is, because the Bible says her and the wiki says he. Enhanced speed, so okay, borrowing an earthquake generation. And weaknesses is unarmored legs and armor limit. Moving on to Diprox. Okay, for Diprox, I unfortunately don't have a bio for her as she is too new of a book to actually have a bio. But don't worry, we still have the abilities and weaknesses. Powers and abilities: flight, enhanced strength, enhanced durability, acid manipulation. Diprox's stinger excretes acid that can melt through crystal wall, and natural weaponry. She has a sharp stinger and clawed legs. Also, with that stinger, I believe her book said she can shoot her stinger and it regrows within seconds. So, yeah, she has a projectile weapon. Nice. Weaknesses are durability limits. So with that, let's cut back to me. So with that, we now got to Quagos and Diprox. Now, we know the stats. Unfortunately, not both the bios, but we don't have a bio for Diprox. But, yeah, it's fine. But now where to fight you two? I want to say a ruined city. Yeah, a ruined city. So we're going to have the fight going in a ruined city, so that'll be fun. And with that, let's get into the fight. As the chamber doors open, Quagos doesn't even bother with the chamber door and immediately burrows down, burrowing under the ground, causing the ground to shake. The spectators are also shaking in their seats, trying to see what's going on. As Diprox bursts through the sky exit, zooming around so fast you can barely see her, like a blip in the light. Why a blip in the light? Okay, a blip in the air, let's say. You can barely see her moving. Her wings are moving so fast that they're almost like a motion blur. Like that. Yeah, probably a bit faster. So yeah, we have a rough idea. Diprox is searching around the whole arena trying to find her opponent, going really fast, might I add. Quagos bursts through the underground and roars into the arena. Diprox immediately shoots one of her stingers directly towards Quagos. As that grows back, the stinger hits Quagos' shell, but just bounces off. Diprox, caught off guard by this, charges down towards Quagos to slash down at his armor, in which Quagos lifts up one of his claws and slashes at Diprox. Diprox reels back screeching from being attacked by one of his claws with lots of spikes jutting out. Diprox shoots another stinger towards Quagos. It bounces right off again, but hits a nearby wall where the acid secretes into the wall, causing the wall to just topple over, landing directly on Quagos. Diprox, shocked by that happening, just buzzes like a little laugh, like saying along the lines of, yeah, I meant to do that. Quagos bursts through the rubble barely a dent on his armor. Diprox shoots another acid dart towards a nearby wall, which topples on top of Quagos again. Quagos comes out to that one. Hardly a dent. Diprox, out of frustration, shoots multiple darts directly towards Quagos, in which none seem to actually affect him. They're all just bouncing off, hitting something else, dissolving a bit of the floor, dissolving a bit of wall. That's it. Diprox is understandably frustrated by this, in which he shoots one directly for the shell, in which Quagos moves back and it lands on the floor underneath Quagos. That dissolves and the floor gives way, causing Quagos to fall. But Quagos just roars and burrows his way up onto the surface again. Diprox charges down towards Quagos, frustrated with this, going to tackle Quagos, trying to get to the underbelly. She blitz her way around all of the pincers which come towards Quagos. She goes underneath Quagos and pushes Quagos upwards, knocking him onto the back of his shell as he's clawing around trying to get himself back up, rocking himself from left to right, left to right. Diprox then lands on top of Quagos and using her stinger, stabs it into Quagos' underbelly, causing Quagos to finally screech in pain. Diprox suddenly gives a menacing laugh, realizing that now she has him. She shoots another stinger into Quagos, and more as the acid is secreting into Quagos. Quagos can feel his innards starting to dissolve and burn. Quagos is screeching in pain, in which he rocks himself forward and nips at one of Diprox's wings and pulls it back with his mouth. Diprox screeched in pain and pulls herself free to see one of her wings is now badly damaged. Unbeknownst to her, not paying attention much to her surroundings, she's greeted by one of Quagos's pincers hitting Diprox in the back of her head, causing a spike to go into her head. She roars in pain by this as she turns around to see Quagos is now sorts himself out and is now upright again. As Diprox makes her way, flapping a bit weakly with one wing but keeping herself barely upright, Quagos charges up towards Diprox with his immense speed. Diprox tries to get up high, but it doesn't seem to be working as Quagos reaches up and grabs Diprox's abdomen with one of his pincers and pulls her down. Quagos then uses another pincer and slashes it right into Diprox's side. Diprox screeching in pain by this, as she's now sandwiched between two of Quagos's pincers, and Quagos pulls Diprox in towards his mouth, in which Quagos opens his mouth, revealing all those spikes, and bites down onto Diprox's head. The spikes impale multiple parts of Diprox's head. Diprox screeching in pain by this. The wings and her limbs frantically clawing, trying to get out of Quagos' grip. Quagos eventually stops biting onto Diprox as blood is gushing from Diprox's head and starts coming out of her wounds on her onto Quagos' claws. Quagos lifts up his claws and slams Diprox into the ground, in which then Quagos then charges towards a wall, knocking it over for the wall to fall down on top of Quagos and into the hole where Diprox is now in. Diprox sees the rubble coming down onto her as she tries to get up and dodge it all. She's too slow to dodge all the rubble coming down on top of her, as she's buried underneath the rubble, crushed like a bug to a windscreen. Quagos comes out of the rubble with a few dents on his armor now, feeling some pain from it, and weakly makes his way back to the chamber as the acid is starting to set in. As he finally gets to his chamber, he's treated for the acid and the poison, and the chamber door closes with Quagos as the survivor. The spectators look to the ground where Diprox once was and can't hear not even the faintest of buzzing. Almost like Diprox is done, and that is what happened. Diprox is done. That Quagos has won, Diprox has lost. You think Diprox should have won? Please comment below. You think that how my words final and Quagos moving on to the next round. Yeah. This was a fun battle, actually. It doesn't seem like fun, but it is. Unfortunately, though, Diprox doesn't really stand a chance. Because Quagos has a hard shell over his entire top side, which is where the needles reach to. It can take a lot of hits, and that's exactly what it does and can do. It had nearly reached its limit, but didn't reach its limit but in that battle. But yeah, when Diprox could actually attack Quagos, he had to get up close to Quagos, in which that puts her susceptible to any attacks as well, and that's exactly what happened. She got herself susceptible to any attacks, and that's where Diprox was unable to get away, in which Quagos gave Diprox a taste of her own medicine, by dumping a building on her. Which, a bit harsh, but alright. So, yeah, with that, Quagos has won. Diprox has lost. I don't really see a way in which how Diprox could win, because she got injured by her wing, so she couldn't get away much. And Quagos is also quite fast as well, and yeah, Quagos is able to match Diprox's speed then. So with that, yeah. So then, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, you'd like to comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the notification bell down in the corner below, and I'll see you for episode 6 of the Insect and Arachnids Only tournament. Bye bye.